Hi everyone, welcome to this session on reusing and sharing your work with Hub templates and ArcGIS solutions. My name is Jay and I'm a product engineer on the ArcGIS Hub team. My colleagues Chris Fox and Mike Schutte gave a presentation at last year's Dev Summit talking about how to programmatically create initiative templates and solutions using the Solutions.js library. Today, I'm going to show you a little bit more about how to do it using the Hub user interface. I want to start by telling you a little bit about ArcGIS Hub. Hub is, if you're unfamiliar with it, is a cloud-based engagement and collaboration platform that helps customers work more effectively with their communities. Today, we're going to focus on a small set of features there, but if you're new to Hub or want to learn more about its core functionality, some of my colleagues have presented sessions at this year's Dev Summit that explore the product in more depth. You'll see a list of those here, and I recommend going and checking those out. This presentation is going to assume that you're familiar with Hub and that you've actually already have something that you're really proud of. A well laid out site, strong supporting pages, embedded apps, maps, and dashboards that you'd like to reuse or share, specifically using templates. And I'm excited to talk to you about templates because templates can be useful in a range of situations. If you find yourself recreating the same layout or pattern over and over, a simple template can be really helpful to give you a head start. But templates are also a great way to share well-constructed, complex packages of items with others. Behind templates and solutions that Esri publishes is a lot of research into best practice of workflows, accessibility, and navigability, as well as engagement practices. So templates can be a really great way to take a lot of research that you've done, and rather than just providing someone with a report, giving them a tool that they can use. Now, before we get into a demo, I'd like to start with just a few key terms that'll be helpful. First is a solution. A solution is an item type in ArcGIS Online and Enterprise, and solutions can come in two states, template and deployed. We'll start with template because that's the most relevant to what we're talking about today. A template solution contains a set of items that can be activated again and again. These solutions are a snapshot of live items at a specified point in time. So if the original live items are changed, the solution stays the same, frozen in amber, basically. Solutions include item details, data, thumbnails, and other item resources that are conferred on activation. But importantly, solutions also store dependencies between items, which allows complex packages to be seamlessly configured by others. Solutions also use variables for dynamic activation. And so these variables can be used to reference items contained within the solution once they are activated, organization and portal properties, organizational extents, and more, with plenty more to come. But to give you an example of one that I find myself using frequently, a solution.title within these curly braces, which denotes a variable. Solution.title can be used to reference the initiative name that a user provides upon activating an initiative template. So right now, solutions support over 40 item types and counting. And I won't go through all of them that I've listed here. This is just a small subset of those. But you'll see that this covers many types of items from the ArcGIS ecosystem, plus many binary item types like zip files and Word docs, as well as groups. I mentioned initiative templates earlier, and basically what an initiative template is a package of solutions that are related to one another and usually work together to achieve a specific goal. An initiative template can contain one solution that has a site in it or many solutions. But when a user activates an initiative template, the solution that contains the site and any of the items which support the site will be deployed. This solution is called the included solution. Other solutions included in the initiative template will be quote unquote recommended and can be activated by the user as they choose and more than once. This is really useful for things that users will want to do multiple times, and so we'll see an example of that in the demo. And finally, to kind of round this out, an idea that we'll come across but is a little bit less important for the process of template creation is a solution in its deployed state. When a user activates a solution, they'll receive a deployed solution alongside the other items that are created. And that deployed solution provides links to all of the created items. And it stores the dependencies between those items. So it can be a very useful launching point to the big set of ArcGIS Online or enterprise items that you've just created. One last thing that I'll talk about before we get into the demo is cloning versus templating. If you're familiar with Hub, you might know that Hub has a very useful cloning feature, and that can be quite handy. It quickly creates a copy of everything on an original site and its pages, including all of its embedded apps, and just gives you a copy. But where templating can be really helpful is that it provides you as the template creator a lot more control. You can set what content is referred to dynamically using variables and what content should remain static, whereas cloning kind of makes those decisions for you. Templating, like I mentioned, with included and recommended solutions, can be used by a user and activated modularly. So they don't need to get everything all at once. They can pick and choose which pieces they want and when they want to use them. The sharing workflow is a little bit more straightforward with templating, especially in the Hub UI, because initiative templates and solutions can be shared to others via groups. And then finally, I would say that templates are definitely very useful for things that you'd like to create more than once. And so I think that will bring us to our demo. So I will start by showing you all a site here. Start with the published version. This site is well configured. It's exactly how I want it. I feel really good about it. It has been made using our share open data template. And what you'll see here is it has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pages attached to it. This page specifically has other content in it, an embedded app, an embedded web map, as well as a survey. And this survey shows up in a couple other places. If I come in here and I go into the edit mode, I can go in and make sure that the settings are exactly as I want them. The layout is as I like. The theme, colors, and base fonts are exactly what I'd like to see, because all of these are transferred upon templating. Another thing that I'll point out is useful to set right now are your images, such as background images that show up here in these rows. Background images can be added using a URL or can be uploaded directly to a site. And either of those ways works when templating. The template will capture images regardless of how you add them to the site. But I will say we suggest that you upload images to and host them on a CDN and link them using this image URL link, because this is much faster and more reliable for activation. And if you have a really large site with a lot of thumbnails and images, you might run into the 1,000 resource limit that we currently face in ArcGIS Online. It's hard to get there, but we have heard it happen before. So you can get around that totally by using a CDN and image links. When you're ready, you have this exactly as you want it. It's going to be easiest to edit your template this way before you save it as a template. So once you have this all as you like it, you can come up here to this More menu and you'll see this option to save as template. This should just work on its own. You don't have to do anything after this. It'll just start to put everything together. It could run into issues for a couple of reasons. If that happens, you might want to check to see if any of your pages or if your site has embedded items that have been deleted. Make sure that those don't show up, or if a dependency of a site contains feature data from another organization, that can pose issues, but otherwise this should be a pretty simple process. It takes a little bit of time, so I'll jump us ahead to the next step. Once it's complete, you will be directed to the edit pane of your initiative template that's been created. If you want to come back here, it's actually not so hard to find. If you come here under your hub to your initiatives, you can get to your initiative templates by clicking this filter. So right now we're editing our initiative template. You'll see a solution right here. And this solution contains the website that we had and all of the other pages and items that support the website. I can jump into that a little bit more, but the first thing that we often want to do is check some of this metadata. Now, this is really useful because this is what users see in a template gallery about your initiative template. So you can come in here and update item details for your initiative template, including the thumbnail, preview URL, summary. If you come up here and edit this in ArcGIS Online, you can also change the description and provide a little bit more how to use this template guidance, link to documentation right there. You can update tags to make your template a little bit easier to search and find. But we'll jump in here to the website solution. This similarly has that same metadata that I'd recommend that you update here and up here in ArcGIS Online. But if we come in here to the advanced editing, we'll see all 12 of the items that were in the original site and initiative. You have the site item, all 6 pages, the survey, the web map, and a few feature services that support the survey. This advanced editing can be a little bit overwhelming at first, but it basically shows that you can click around here and see the data in JSON format that powers our sites, our pages, our maps, and apps. I will come in here and show you a couple of the variables that you can use. So for instance, if you search down here for the header, you can come in and change the title. Now this is the title that shows up right here in the header, right here. And using our old friend solution.title, this will make it so that when someone activates the template, they will get the title that they are prompted to enter, rather than Dev Summit Demo, which was there before. Coming back up to the top, you'll see an array of pages. And for a lot of these items, you'll notice the variable in these squiggly braces is in the format of a GUID.itemID. Now, this GUID is referencing the GUID of the original item. So say, for instance, you have a privacy policy page, and you would only like to maintain a single copy of that, but you'd like that single copy to be linked in all of the versions of the site that gets activated from this template. All you have to do is remove the variable logic, like so, and you'll basically be referencing the original item rather than the version that shows up here in the solution. This will still get created, it just won't be referenced. We'll go back and keep it as it was before. Another thing that I'll point out is that the cards in your site layout can be edited here. This is all HTML, so you'll have to parse a little bit, but you'll be able to go in and change the text, change the color of the rows, etc. But what I might point out is that some of these cards are referencing groups or initiatives. So for instance, the follow initiative card, the dynamic gallery card, and the event calendar card point to specific groups. Our templating process goes through and actually dynamically changes those to the correct variables that will reference the newly created initiative or content library of the activated item that comes out on the other end of this template once it's activated. But if you actually want to say that this follow card should reference the original initiative, you just have to go in and replace it with the initiative ID, which you can always find in ArcGIS Online. This can be helpful, for instance, if you have an umbrella site and a number of sites underneath, but you would like to organize all of the community members who follow the sub-sites in a single community under the umbrella site. You can basically give the initiative of the umbrella site, and it'll make it so that anyone who clicks that follow button is joining the community of that umbrella site. So that can be handy. Same thing with gallery cards. If you want to have that refer to the content library of a umbrella initiative, you can go ahead and change the variables to the correct values of that original initiative. Something that I'll point out is I also mentioned extents earlier. You can come in here and to this web map, and you'll see here that this web map is currently carrying the geometry of its original instance. But we can go ahead and change that to the extent of the organization that activates this web map by coming in here, removing this right here, and including a reference to the extent along with this variable right here, which we will need to put in quotes. So by doing this, we basically make it so that when someone activates this solution and they get this web map, it'll pre-fill the extent of the organization that user is in. And that can be really helpful for allowing something like a national data set to be zoomed in on exactly where the person who's using it is located. So I'm going to go ahead and save some of these changes. And now, one last thing I'll show you here in the advanced editor is you can go ahead and under this item details tab, go and change some of the basic metadata of those items when they're created on the other end. So basically when the solution is activated and a user gets this hub page, this is the snippet that will show up there. This can be especially handy when you're using tags. You can use tags in a very interesting way by basically setting tags here. You'll see page nav is one of them. And then in a gallery card on the site, we can see that it's pre-filtered using that page nav tag. And so basically, you can basically pre-filter dynamic gallery cards with specific content using those tags. So that's a handy little tip that we've used on our end. So now that we've we've made some changes and we've saved those changes to that solution. Let's come back here to the initiative item. And we can come in here and actually add other solutions, other apps by converting them to templates and basically making them into solutions of their own. And these will show up as, like I mentioned before, recommended solutions. So say, for instance, you have a survey that you know will need to be administered multiple times within this this initiative that you're creating a template of. I'll go in here and say, search for the one that I'm looking for. I can click here and say that I want this, this survey to show up as a recommended solution. As I kind of alluded to, this can be a useful way to share standalone apps as solutions that actually have nothing to do with the website, or things that need to be added after the fact, after creation. Or it can be useful for apps that need to be recreated over and over and over if the user needs multiple copies. Go ahead and say add as it converts. I'll also mention that these recommended solutions show up in the app gallery that exists behind every hub site. And so that way, the gallery actually contains all solutions that don't include a site. So users can browse or search for any of these recommended solutions, regardless of whether that is a recommended solution for the template that they started with. That can be really useful. So we see here there are a couple of these recommended solutions. And even if a user isn't using our template, they will be able to find these non-website solutions in the app gallery from any initiative that they're in. So great. Now I think we're looking pretty good. It looks like we're ready to publish. So when you are ready to publish, you should be sure to share the initiative template and all of the solutions at the same level. The key is the site solution. If that isn't available to the activator, if the activator can only access the initiative template but not that site solution, activating the entire initiative template will fail. But you can do that by going here and updating the sharing level. I'm going to say for my org. And I get a prompt here to say, see if I want to update the other solutions at the same level. You'll see here you can also do group sharing, and that can be really helpful if you want to selectively share with others. And this even works for users in other orgs that have Hub Premium. So now we have our template. Let's see what this looks like from the activation side. So I'm going to go back here to my overview. If I click new and browse initiative templates, I'll see our Dev Summit demo right here. On activation, I will give this a name. And if I click go, this will create all of the items within the website solution. There were 12 of them, so this will take a little bit of time. So I'm going to skip ahead for us. So now activation of our template has completed, and we're welcome to our new site. We'll see here that we received one site template, one feedback template as a survey, and 10 other items. So that's the 12 items that were included in that website solution. We see all 6 pages, and we can check some of the variables that we included. So here we can see that the title in the header has updated to the name that we gave during activation. You might remember that we hooked this follow initiative card to our original initiative, and we can see that here. But all of our gallery cards are pointing to this to the content group of this new initiative, which is great, really exciting. But this looks very similar to what we had before because of the, thanks to the tagging that we did in the advanced editing of the individual items within a solution. We've been able to pre-filter what's being shown here. If we go over here to this page, we can check out our other items. So here's our web map, and that's configured to the extent of the organization that's activated it. And here's our survey. Finally, if we want to see those recommended templates, we can come in here to the content library, and we can go up here to the template gallery, and we'll see these two recommended solutions that were visible before that we added. And users can come back and reactivate these over and over as many times as they would like. But if they'd like to see all of the solutions available, non-site solutions available to them, they can come in here and they can see a wide range of what's available to us. Finally, if we come over here to ArcGIS Online, we'll see a folder that contains all of the items that were created when we deployed this solution. I hope this gives you a pretty good idea of how to use the Hub UI to create initiative templates and solutions. I'll wrap up today by sharing some additional resources with you. The ArcGIS Hub team and the ArcGIS Solutions team have created quite a few templates to get you going. I'd recommend you try them out for yourself using the Hub Initiative or app template galleries like I showed you before. There is an Esri, published by Esri filter, which will show you all of the templates that we've created ourselves. Or you can find even more industry-specific configurations created by the solutions team in the solutions application in your organization. In ArcGIS Enterprise, ArcGIS Online, you'll see this app launcher, and the solutions deployer is right here. As a member of the public, you can explore all of our initiative templates by visiting the link on the slide. And if you'd like to reach out to us about a template that you'd like to see or one that you're working on, you can submit a response to the survey on this page. We'd love to hear from you. So thank you all very much for listening to me today. I look forward to hearing from you about the exciting templates that you're creating. And so thank you very much and happy templating.